We're live.
Live.
What's
Hello.
up, everybody? What's going on? How you doing, man? How's things been?
I am alive.
We're talking
We
about
are live.
your crazy
Things are alive.
schoolwork.
Yeah, it's that first week craziness, but trying to take it all in stride. And like we were talking about before going live, it's Zach's class. So it's the kind of thing that I want to work hard to learn anyway. So
Yeah.
hopefully that
100%.
makes it easier.
What's up,
Yes.
Joan?
Hello.
Yeah,
And
there we
it's also, this is an exciting episode because it's the first one since I actually made pythons.
Yes, this is true. Oh, we have a lot to talk about.
Look at all those name thingies behind me. There's actual babies in there.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through the first process. What is so you get the baby. Well, let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Babies are pipping out of the eggs.
Babies!
Was the first clutch maternal incubation, or was it your ones in the incubator?
This was maternal. So
Okay.
yeah.
So you got the double effect of nature in your box.
It was insane. My dad and stepmom were over for lunch, and when we finished, they were like, "Oh, well, let's see. I want to see the snakes. I want to see the snakes." I was like, "All right." And I was showing them around, and I peeked into the box, and for the first time in 60 days, there was more than one snake in the box, and then I saw this little head, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like,
Yes.
it was surreal. It was so cool, and there's
Yes.
just nothing. There's nothing like that. I've heard you say it before, and now I understand. Just seeing
Yes.
a baby emerging from mom's coils, like not all the way out of the egg, but just seeing what the world is and what's going on.
Yeah, man.
Is insane.
Yeah, there's just something about. Sorry, somehow they clicked on the other Safari opened up with us talking, and I was like, wait a minute, did you just say that? Oh, okay. Yeah, man, it's like one of those things that you don't understand until it happens, and when it happens, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I get it.
I'm so glad that the maternal one was first,
Yeah.
Obviously there's no way to plan that. She just ovulated 2 weeks ahead of the other ones, but it made it so much cooler that that's the order it happened in.
That's awesome.
And she knocked it out of the park. She went 22 for 22. Every single baby was fully formed, healthy looking, pretty dang big. And I just couldn't be more excited that they are so cool.
That's awesome, man.
Not a single problem that I can tell.
Cool. All right. So what did you take weights and all that stuff?
I did, and I have them all here on this
nice
spreadsheet doing handwritten notes.
Okay.
I had the first one out was actually my smallest baby, which is interesting.
Okay.
22 grams on that first one out, but it was a visual hypostripe.
How do they look?
Oh, they look so cool. I'll bring some over. I will bring some over. But then I had a lot of 33s. My biggest baby was 34 grams, and my average is just over 31 for the clutch.
Gotcha.
So, man, it's just so cool, and I can't stop like checking on them. Like I'm trying not to because I want them to not
helicopter parent.
Yeah, but it's not even that I'm worried anything's going wrong. I just can't stop looking at them and thinking that life was created in my bedroom.
Yeah, I think there's just something about the whole, like, yeah, man, it's just especially to me the thing that like really wowed me was when it was in mom's coils. There's something about her like loosening up, and you see the little babies in the coils, and I don't know.
And she did, she knows that they're hatching. And she kind of makes room for them to get to the air for the first time.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that, we'll never know what's going on in that little snake brain, but I hope she felt some semblance of pride taking them the distance or success.
Yeah. You never know, but
before I took them all away.
You mean
Well, she wasn't going to keep them,
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you
Yes.
get them out. Did you sex them out of the egg? What was your approach there? Are you
Yeah.
waiting to do that? Okay.
They came out staggered over about a 3-day period, and I, was just kind of grabbing them as they left. As once they were all the way out, I'd grab them and I weighed them and sexed them on the spot. Wrote down, what I could tell of their genetics, and then put them straight into the baby rack on some wet paper towel with water bowl and a little hide.
Dare you?
Well, there's this whole thing called science that I'm trying to do in this room. So I have to standardize my conditions. I know. If I could give them all an Exoterra, I would, but
yeah.
Not in a position.
So what are you hoping to find after the fact? So like now that you're doing this experiment, what's the hopeful
next
outcome?
Up? So the main quantitative biological question is who makes bigger babies.
That's the smarter way to say it. Okay. Yeah. So this is like all the shit talk we talk on NPR all the years about, maternal incubation being better. You're doing the science to actually see if there's any.
See if that's true. I guess the smart way of saying the smart people talk would be, is it statistically significant? And can we really say that they have bigger babies?
Right.
But then what happens now is Nick and I, because we're doing this together, we're also interested in a lot of peripheral data in addition that may or may not be interesting enough to include in a publication later. But we'd rather have the data now than miss the boat, right? So I want to know if there's any difference in willingness to feed between the two groups. I want to know if there's a difference between time of egg leaving and time of shedding, just anything. I just kind of want to record everything that's possible and compare the groups down the line. Because why not? Males, females, any differences there? There's so many things that are worth looking into, and probably the vast majority of them will be nothing. But even if one of them has something to it, that's really cool.
Now, could you do this? Just the average snake breeder, you could do the same thing and take that data. And
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's, Nick has done this, and Justin too. And like it's discussed in the book, but it was never formalized for like a journal. So that's all I'm really trying to do is take the football and run with it and get it in a in a scientific paper. But hell yeah, anybody could do this. This is not hard. Get yourself a gram scale and standardize your variables and go to town.
But that's the thing, you have to keep them all the same, right? Everything has to be the same.
Right, exactly. And there's certain things you have to decide there's certain things you have to decide at before you dive in, like what is your artificial temperature going to be, and of course, kind of really the only tricky part to this is the little data loggers, because those suckers are pricey. Luckily West Liberty University paid for those, not Lucas Lee. Because they're very pricey. And
are they? How much do they go for?
We got
$200.
We got I don't remember how many we got. Maybe 30 of them ish for like $800.
Oh wow. Okay. That's way cheaper than I thought it would be, but
it's but still, like, it's kind of crazy. But they're the size of like a little watch battery, so it's really easy to slide them inside the egg mass. And I got a little scared when I looked at this first mom, because it looked like the thingy was not in the egg mass anymore, and I was like, oh crap,
boy,
that'd be a big problem. But it was still within her coils. It had just moved from where I initially put it, but she was still wrapping it, so it's all good.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, do you want to see some?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
let's do it. I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's always cool to see somebody with their first clutch.
So this is the first one that emerged. So of course it's my favorite.
So this is a
female
hypo stripe.
Kind of hard to see because they haven't shed and they haven't started to color up, but look at that stripe if you can.
Wow.
It's like perfect.
Now there's some, I know I was reading some threads.
Yeah.
About the whole idea of striping. And when you add the hype, yeah, man, that's really sweet. And you add that hypo into it.
Right.
That it sort of throws extra nice stripes.
Yes.
Because the hypo has a tendency to throw striping.
That is what I'm gathering as well. Nick is of the assumption, well, his hypothesis is that there might be either an allelic or synergistic thing at play, which when you have a certain hypo gene, because the Brettles hypo is like 4 or 5 different genes, he estimates. He thinks a certain one of those plays with the genetic stripe gene and makes it really, really clean. And then kind of what Dr. Travis Wyman, and Casey Cannon were saying, from what I could gather, is that maybe we can't say for sure that it's an allelic genetic thing yet, but that the hypo Brettles themselves have a propensity for throwing stripes already. So maybe when you add that in with the actual genetic stripe, you just get like some really, really nice striping.
Right.
But then there's that whole other part to it where Nick is pretty dang sure you can visually confirm which ones are hets, but I guess that's still up for debate. All I can say from my personal experience is that all of the hypo het stripes that he sent me, which obviously are confirmed, they are hets. Right. They all have stripes, not as clean as this, but broken stripes. Yeah, super interesting. And in my clutch, I have 5 that look like this, that are just undoubtedly a genetic stripe.
Right.
And then I have some that have no striping whatsoever. And I have a proportion of them that have partial broken barbed wiry stripes, just like mom and dad, that would make me wonder if those are hets. I can break one of those out too if you'd like. But
yeah, man, go for it. Let's see it all.
See if I can do it without taking the headphones off.
Let's see what kind of skills you got. Come on, man. You're a musician. You can do it.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I forget which one's which, so I'm looking. Quick, tell them a joke.
Tell him a joke. Casey never heard of her. Oh. You guys should consider bringing some on MP. Wait a minute. Someone on NPR for Chihuahua geckos and a New Caledonia. Finding consistent info on them is quite difficult. I'd love to hear your guy interview someone about them. Yeah, I guess we could. I don't really know much about them, but sure.
So
okay.
Kind of hard. Again, they need to shed, but can you see the partial striping?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's tricky because the glare is the same color as the
stripe
banding. Yeah. So it looks like the light, but it's not. There you go.
Yeah, I see it. Yep.
So it's not a hypo stripe, but there's certainly something different going on there. And that's exactly what mom and dad look like. And of course they are the hets. So,
right.
And then there's a whole bunch of other babies that don't have any of that. They just look like normal Brettles.
So my question is, what I obviously have not having hatched out hypos. How can you tell the hypos from the non-hypos?
That's something I actually was on the phone with Nick earlier this afternoon, and he said that we can't until they've shed about 3 times in his estimation.
Okay.
He said after about that 3rd shed, they tend to color up enough to see which ones got a good chunk of hypoalleles and which ones didn't. And, you know, those ones are probably just going to age more like normals, whereas some will look even better than 50% hypos. In some cases, they look like full-blood hypos. So the nature of a polygenic, I guess.
Yeah.
But Sounds like
cool,
I gotta
man.
wait because they're all just they're all just brown and look the same at this point. So
They look great, man. Nice big size. Yeah.
They're all really
Actually, they look
strong
pretty big for a baby. And you're saying they're 30 plus grams, you know.
They all came out looking ready to take on the world, and you know, nobody's weak, that's for sure.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm really impressed with these dudes, and it makes sense, you know, if you're Brettles and you're popping out where they live with everything trying to eat you, and
it's not an easy life.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I'm excited to see how the ones in the incubator compare in a week or two.
Yeah, I'd be curious to just even see the size, you know, because typically I've always hatched, you know, a big carpet would be 28 grams. And you're talking coastals, jungles, IJs, you know, more in the 25 to 20, maybe 23 to 25 grams.
This one here hatched out at 33. This is number 4.
Number 4.
Yes.
That's
trying
cool.
to keep all my crap organized, but it's hard.
Yeah. It becomes quite a task, man, when you have all these. Yeah, man, when you're doing
I only have 22, and I'm like trying to like make up codes and basically just copy what Nick does to keep it all straight.
Yeah. I tried doing that for a while. Like, you know, I made a species, like a species would have a code, you know, so if you're talking Brettles, Bredley, whatever, I'll put BR, you know, and then if it was genetic of some way, you would put the genetics, and then maybe you would put the year and the sex or something like that, you know, and maybe the number of when it hatched out. But then you have this long code, like, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. I've got
looks like Apple's passcode when you go to put the passcode, and they make up a suggested password for
it. Is that a snake or an IP address?
Yeah, no.
This is 21-BR-HYS1-11.
Yeah. And I tried to, that's what another question I was going to ask you. Like, how did you come up with it? I know, like, I think the simpler, the better. Wow. Look at that one. So God damn. Look at that stripe.
This one already has some color as well. So I'm really intrigued.
Wow. That's sharp.
Intrigued to see what they look like.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no.
One of the things Nick said as well is that he notices the visual stripes tend to be especially bright in terms of their hypomelanism. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I had a pair of hypo het stripes from him, but I lost the. What did I lose? The male. So I have to sort of get that project going again, I guess, you know.
Well, we can talk.
Yeah, I'm talking to you like you don't even have them right there. Like, oh yeah, by the way. Well, that's cool.
I mean, maybe I'll send you adults. I don't know. We'll see. There's so much going on here.
That's when you know you have too many snakes, when you start farming your snakes out to other people to take care of. And you know,
I shouldn't get rid of the adults. That'd be a stupid thing to do. But yeah,
hell no. Yeah.
Yeah. So I couldn't be more excited, man. It's like it's a really long lasting high. I can see how this is an addicting thing.
Yeah. 100%. You know, it's something I don't know how to explain it, but once you see it, you're kind of like sucked in. I remember Justin and Ben talking about that a long time ago on Reptile Radio. They were saying something, you know, something along the lines. Oh, we got Terry Burwell in the in the chat. All right. What's up, Terry? Diamond Python, Rat Snake. No, what does he do? He does the oh man, I'm drawing a blank. God damn it. I can't think. I can't think of the species of snake, like the cat-eyed snakes and stuff that he does. Isn't it? What is it?
I'm not sure.
They're not in Australia. So oh yeah, there we go.
Barons?
Baron eye. Yeah.
Barons are cool.
Yeah. Rhinos. Well, Rob will always be the rhino guy to me. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Rob is the rhino guy.
Rhino Rob.
Yeah. But I got something cool.
Yes.
And Hold on.
All right. He's going. Oh, are you drinking coffee, by the way? We skipped that whole thing.
Yeah, we just jumped right into the snake stuff. Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
It's
I
a
am
snake
drinking
pod.
coffee.
What do you got?
I got same stuff I was drinking last week. I had to I forget the name. I'm drawing a blank, man. Like you, I came rushing home and I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I promised my wife I'd cook her dinner, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if gonna have time. So she's coming home from work, so I'm cooking dinner, and I'm like, oh shit, you sent the link, like waiting for a link. Like,
yeah. Sorry, I hope
man.
you didn't ruin your dinner.
No, she came home for a break or whatever from work or whatever. So
right on.
All good.
Nipper, hello to you. Yeah.
Nipper's here?
He said, hello, you sexy love muffins. That's got to be the Nipper.
Yes. That
Nobody else would talk to us that way.
No.
Yes.
No, he's been, we got Riley now. Okay.
Riley's
here.
Yo.
What's going on?
Not much. Just dropped my better half off at the airport. It's boys weekend.
There you go. Well, Nipper said, hello, you sexy love muffin.
Hello.
Riley's like, what did I join here? I don't understand.
I assumed I would be popping in on the middle of either coffee talk, some silliness, or something.
Yeah. Well, we already did the actual snake part, so now it's coffee time.
Yeah, coffee talk.
Wow, we're doing it backwards this week. All right.
Yeah, we're doing it backwards.
We jumped right into baby Brettles.
Cool.
I'm let's see. I guess I could just share the screen. It would be much easier just to show you what I'm drinking. Right here.
Ooh. I've seen that. I've seen those.
It's actually pretty good.
Nice.
Equator coffees.
Is that like an outline of or silhouette of like a jaguar or something back there?
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. How is it?
It's pretty good. Real
Is it comforting and rich, as the thing says?
Yes, it is.
Do you feel rich and comforted now?
I don't feel rich. Because I just bought some reptiles, but I do feel comfortable. So, this project, come here. Here we go.
Hello.
Python.
Nice.
Queensland?
Yeah.
Nice. Look at it's actually chill.
Yeah.
I love those. If I was gonna do liasses.
Yeah.
Look at that belly.
Yeah. I know. That's probably like my favorite part.
So cool. And those probably are extra special for you based on the ones you found out there, right?
Yeah, well, I was talking about this. It's so weird. So like people get confused because we were doing NPR last night, and I was talking about that this is sort of like one of those projects. So I got a pair, and this is the male. He looks like he might be a little more fired up. But yeah, there we go.
Nice. We still haven't had blood on this podcast.
That's right. Yes, water pythons. Get it right.
Water.
Yes. It's not water. Come on. I've sort of had a struggle with that project because I don't know what it is, but I got a pair from Ryan and they died. I got a pair from Nick and they died. And I started to question, am I sucky as a water python keeper? Like, what am I doing?
They hear you say their name every time and it hurts them.
Yeah, it hurts the soul. But yeah, they were young. I kind of took them, it's not like I got shitty snakes from them or whatever, but they were sort of like just out of the egg, didn't necessarily feed, and then I think the trip probably stressed them and there you go. But I'm just, guessing, I guess. I don't know. Usually I've done that with carpets all the time where I've taken carpets and just that weren't eating and got them going. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But, you just striked at me now.
There they go. They're warming up.
Yeah, now you got it. Yeah, so after seeing them in the wild, a couple times, it's definitely project that I'm going to enjoy. But I was talking about, so I think it was no, it wasn't you guys. It was I got to show you this. Yeah. So my thinking is, right, that if I can get, I'm going to, as Nipper was calling it the other day, it's Viv porn.
Wow.
And I think I showed it to you guys.
Yeah, I was just over at Alan's place. We were talking about those.
Yeah, man, he got some rocks and stuff from him, whatever. But can you imagine like setting this up with like, you know, like to me, this looks just like Fog Dam. You know what I mean? Like that same type. And I was talking to Owen about like having this setup of where we had like this, you know, we were kind of like pulling them out of the tree roots and stuff like that, and kind of just resembles that kind of look. So if I could somehow recreate that into,
that's sweet.
Yeah, that would be so cool. Have that in a setup.
You know,
yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, and Alan and I were looking at it. The guy who does that, it's all custom made stuff,
right?
And he molds it out of natural settings, and
yeah,
and he's just phenomenal with it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that would be the way to do it. Starting fresh, just like start with one of those in a big enclosure for an animal.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I would keep them as a pair and just put them in there, and you know,
yeah.
Eventually, when I get babies in the tree roots there and the eggs, I'll be like, yes, you know. And you know, the crazy thing is Nick was saying that like how much people are looking for them, so they're kind of like in demand at the moment, which is just kind of weird.
From him? Are those Nick? From Nick?
Yep. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I see how he does his sticker thing. So his code is LS, whatever that means. Queensland M5.
Ooh, the blackhead in front of me just dug. Sorry, that was really cool. It did the thing.
Oh, wow. Did the scoop?
It did the scoop. But yeah,
nice.
I love Nick's little stickers. I save those things. They're fun.
So do I. Yeah, because if people don't know, you know, one of the things that Nick is really good at is the whole, lineage thing. And he gets these little codes. And if you line up the code with his website, if you go and you look at the year, you can look at that. You can figure out what your parents. Unless sometimes, and you guys are probably privy to this too, like where you get the friends clutches, you know, like animals from the Friends with Benefits clutches, and he doesn't put those lineages up on his website. So you're like, you know, you gotta come on, man, send me the lineage.
Yeah, he made a chart for this clutch, and it says it's like his normal thing, and then in the tiniest little font at the top, it's like parenthesis hatched by Lucas Lee.
You got second billing.
I'll take it. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't had the best year for Brettles, so I'm assuming the ones that I send him, he's gonna put up on his site because he doesn't have that many. So
yeah,
we'll see. Which,
by the way, finished. Well, I'm almost at the very end of the Animals at Home podcast you did.
That was super fun.
Yeah, good job. Very good. Yeah,
I had a great time. Dylan's a really fun guy to talk with.
Yeah,
I like
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Savus won the Liasis crown for the year.
I think Gary produced some, right? Scavino.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What's the Liasis crown?
I don't know. I didn't know there was a Liasis.
Being born?
The most popular?
I know nothing of this popularity contest.
Same.
Yes, me too.
In fact, I'm not much of a fan of Liasis. I got to tell you.
Yeah? What is it?
They're nasty little bastards.
You got the superior ones. You got the pop ones.
Yeah. See, like, I try to compartmentalize them differently, but they look similar, and I'm like, why do I have you when I have all of you?
Yeah.
I don't know. After Travis said that the Max chill out after a while, it's like, all right, I'll give them some more time. But they're assholes. So
yeah, poor
even
Owen,
out of the enclosure, they're assholes.
Yeah. Poor Owen. He what do you call it? we were talking about this last night too. It's like his love-hate relationship with the Maclots python.
Yeah.
It's like I threw it into his life and he didn't want anything to do with it. And then next thing you know, he's got these pythons that he can't breed and he's like so frustrated with, and every time one loses an eyeball, one,
Right.
I mean, it's just the most random shit that happens to him with this project,
Oh, I know it's
I was
torture,
gonna
but he
say.
can't let it go.
He
It
gets
feels
a
like-
male and it's another male and then a female. Yeah. Oh my
It
goodness.
feels like Owen has a love-hate relationship with everything he keeps. Every species.
Oh yeah.
He
More
has that with me too.
roughies. Like, he only loves the roughies, but they kind of hate him, I guess.
They really
Yeah.
hate him.
Yeah, I
The
say to
Ruffy
him,
gods have cursed him.
Yeah.
I say to him all the time, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you messing around with these goofy colubrids? Like, just get yourself like 10 rough scales. Stop buying corn
Sell
snakes,
your
and
beauty snakes.
king snakes and beauty snakes. And he's like, but I like them. And I'm like, okay, well then, but I mean, if you're gonna, like think about it the way I think about like Papuan pythons or Papuan carpet pythons, right? I don't have 2. I don't have 4.
Yeah.
And most people that are serious about, I mean, how many womas do you have, Lucas? Yeah, see, you can't even count them.
It's going to be 8 when Owens arrives.
See, there you go. And Riley, how many Papuans do you have? Me?
I have no idea.
Oh, and how
At
many
least a
Ruffies
dozen.
do you have? I have 2. It's like, what are you doing, man? Come on, get it together.
Yeah, I've got at least 15 Papuans, I think.
Yeah. So
Yeah, good point.
It's tough though, but I feel his pain, man.
Yeah,
I really
man,
do.
I do too.
I feel his pain. There are
I-
thousands and thousands of freaking awesome animals out there.
Yeah.
The problem is I get some of these snakes. I'm like, wow, this reminds me of a jungle carpet, or this reminds me of a citrus tiger. What the hell?
What am I doing? Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right though. There's a lot of cool freaking stuff, and I'm worried because now I'm being drawn to things that aren't snakes, and that's just not okay. It's not
I've
safe.
suckered you in.
You did, and also now that I have to take herpetology, like I've already written a frog essay, and now I'm like, wow, frogs are kind of cool. I'm just, bad. No.
Yeah.
Don't go down that slope, dude. You'll need a
See-
whole cold room.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I've decided is that you sort of pick an area, a continent, whatever it is, and then if you want to expand a bit, like Justin Julander, he had it right the whole time, right? He's like, I'm Australian addictions, and everybody thought he was the carpet guy, but if he has a gidgy skink, no big deal. I'm Australian addiction reptiles, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Again, there's too much cool stuff.
Kimberly rocks are Australian.
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
I was just checking out Alan's Kims today. They're taking a nap right on the ground in front of me, like no cares in the world. Those things are rad.
How
Badass.
cool is that, man?
They're awesome, like communally too. Like happy as can be, big vertical thermal gradient, lots of room, lots of layers of materials and stuff. Just a simple setup, and they were thrilled. It was awesome.
Nice.
They were really cool. And then I pulled out one of his red Ackies. It's like an 9-month-old male or something like that, who's already like twice proven and just super calm. Was hanging out with him. So
They're so cute. Look at that.
yeah,
That little
they're fun,
duck
man.
face.
Yeah, they're really fun. And then from a distance, I saw Alan's little Tristis babies running around the enclosure, and then peeked in on his savannas because his female is coming up to size probably next year. So
Nice.
Cool.
So he and I are going to do some pairing there. But yeah.
Yeah, he's got some cool shit, man.
That's awesome.
Alan's got some really cool stuff.
It's got blue trees too, right? Doesn't he have?
Yeah, he's got Ryan Young's blue trees. Yep.
Those are super pretty.
Yes.
Those are sensitive.
Yes. I agree with this statement a whole 100%.
Pilbras, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Pilbras. Yeah, if you like Kims, you'll love Pilbras, I think.
But they look like a Bredli, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, wow. Ryan said, how big do what get? Kimberly Rocks, Ryan? They don't get too big. I mean, I think they're a little bit bigger than Ackies, but I think that they're
mostly tail,
thinner, and it's all tail.
And they're very flat and compressed. So like adult Kims, I mean, if you've seen Mike's video, they're not including the tail, probably 14 inches long, 12 inches long.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're not that big.
Pause. I'm gonna mute myself and unplug a clicky thermostat.
Right on.
Cool. Yeah. Wow. I'm probably gonna copy you with that whole thing. I really like.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're cool. I never pictured myself a monitor guy or a lizard guy. I never thought I would go down that road. You know, I talked a long time with Rob about it, and you know, I was sort of like, hey man, what do you think about me adding X? And he'd be like, I don't know if that's going to be your thing, you know. And I'm like, well, Rob knows what I like, and Rob he's worked with everything, so if he's telling me that it's going to be a pain in the ass, you know, so then every couple of months or whatever, I'd say, what do you think? Do you think I should do this, whatever? And he would say, oh, you know, the bugs are a pain in the ass, you know. And then my dad started doing the whole bug thing, but to be honest with you, I haven't even used it from him yet, because I'm signed up to that Dubia Roach thing, and it's like, I don't know, it's like $10 a week or whatever, and it's delivered to my door, and like, nice. I don't know, man. It's a no-brainer, you know.
I like working with dubias more than crickets. I hate crickets.
Yeah. So, but
what about the falsies? What about the falsies? I like falsies.
Yeah. Falsies. Yeah.
They're
surprised. I'm surprised you don't have them, Riley. You don't have falsies, do you?
No, I have no desire to work with them at home.
No.
I worked with them in Santa Barbara in the zoo. Had a huge male who incidentally killed a female, overbreeding her, like broke her back. Was relentless. But we had him in a massive like walk-in display with a pool and tree branch and everything. It was a ton of fun, like beautiful animal, tons of fun. But they just get big, you know, like, and I already have a big colubrid in my Cribos, so
totally.
You know, it's just hard to justify that. I think they're kind of both in the same niche, like a South American big colubrid, except Cribos are a little further north, more Costa Rica. I don't know. They're kind of very similar, so they scratch the same itch, I guess. So they got me first.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. That makes sense for sure. Yeah.
Quick question. What's my setup for Ackies and Kims? So for the Kims, I don't have them here yet, but I'm basically for now going to follow pretty much what Mike is doing. I don't know if you can see this cage. That's right. Yeah, I'm never good at this.
it's so hard.
God damn it. I'm doing everywhere.
Forward.
No, so that's the Ackies up here, right there. And then that right there is that one.
Nice.
That's the Kims.
Nice.
So it's higher up. So I kind of went with the higher thing because that's sort of what Mike suggested.
And that's what they're being raised up in right now.
Yeah.
So that's familiar to them.
The Ackies I'm about to upgrade, right? So the Ackies I'm working on, they're going to go in that top one right here. And I'm working on doing a background for that and trying to soup it up. And, you know, I don't know. I even think that eventually they'll outgrow that, to be honest with you. I'd rather give them a little higher footprint. So then you can kind of like, rock ledges and take advantage of all that extra space, and they can kind of, use those little micro habitats under, cork
Plus,
bark or whatever
you're
it would
gonna
be.
hate all the substrate that's gonna get in the glass trapdoors.
That's the one thing I hate about AP cages, man. I absolutely cannot stand that. It drives me nuts. And I'm thinking, like, why isn't there? And maybe this is something that I, something that I shouldn't say, but like, why isn't there a cage manufacturer of like PVC cages? And maybe there is, and I don't know about it. But like with a deeper, you know what I mean? Like a deeper substrate dam.
All I can say is that we've got a CNC machine coming at the shop, and this exact situation has been a top priority and concern of ours in the digital design process, and we have a solution for that. That allows a deeper trough, deep enough where your animals, even like a beardy and stuff, like they won't be able to really do much glass surfing. There will be a deep trough for ample substrate should you choose to use it, and the trough will be positioned in such a way that it's pretty difficult for animals to get dirt in there unless you fill it up too much. So I'm not going to say exactly what that design is because anybody listening could easily just replicate that. But it is feasible to design to prevent or minimize that. It just hasn't been done.
I think ultimately it's going to come down to me building my own enclosures, right? Because, Ryan was saying that Focus Cubes does that, but I don't know what it is about that cage. I just don't like it. I don't know if I've seen I just don't like the idea of like it looking like somebody splattered paint on. I mean, I know you could probably get it without it and all that stuff, but like,
to be fair, your monitor lizard is going to destroy those doors.
Yeah. That's the other thing. So like, I think I'm just going to build my own. I think that's the way to go, because I either it's not high enough, it's not wide enough. It's like and I understand why cage manufacturers are doing that, right? They want to optimize the supplies that they're using, right? You don't want to throw away, whatever. So build my own is the way I'm probably going to go.
Again, I would reach out to Alan on that because he's got a really ingenious and affordable way to build your own. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, he did. He showed me
the wooden pallet containers. You cut doors
from U-Line.
Yep, and he just took some wood sealer, sealed the inside, ran about 3 to 4 coats of liquid rubber on the inside and outside, and that thing holds water and insulates well, and it's light enough. Like these big crates are probably 4 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet, and doors cut in, and he and I could just lift them up easily one by one on our own and just stack them, and all the materials and time spent, you're still spending less than what you would buy for one cage equivalent that size. So might as well build your own.
Yeah, and then you can control all the the things that you want, and it becomes more of a
so if you're doing that for a monitor lizard, depending on the species and size, you can control the amount of ventilation required. You control the size of your basking lot bank as far as like how many light sockets you want for your basking spot, how big you want to make it, or multiple. And it's as simple as just getting those appropriate housings and mounting them accordingly.
Yeah. Sure. And I got the Zoopoxy stuff, and so I got that going, and it's just a matter of sort of I was talking to Owen about this last night, but I think it's a matter of just starting it, because I'm afraid that like I think it's like if I'm going to write a song or something, and you're sort of in this writer's block, you're like you don't not play your guitar. You start playing your guitar, and then hopefully something comes out of it, But if you don't play your guitar, you're not writing any songs. So get to it.
I feel attacked.
Yeah. Why? Because you're not playing your guitar, or what?
No, yeah, exactly.
Have you been slacking, Lucas?
My musical state. That's for a different podcast. Yeah, I completely agree, and I can't freaking wait for Grant and Riley PVC Enterprises. I'm going to drive up all the time.
Yeah.
Coming soon, man. We just got word that the PVC or the CNC machine is about to be done, built. It's going to get shipped out this week, and it should be here in a month and a half. So
awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool, man. Are you going to redo all the caging in the store? Are you going to leave it? Yeah,
we're going to redo everything. So right now in the snake room, it's a bunch of racks. We've got plans to wall to wall, floor to ceiling, plus a back-to-back island sort of column of all PVC cages. It'll be like 90 cages in the snake room. And then in the front wall, we're going to do a bunch of stuff, put our breeders out there and have like privacy windows. We're just going to do a bunch of PVC stuff over the next year or so, redo a lot of the displays, have stuff available for sale. I don't know if we'll do any shipping or anything, at least not right away, because there's a huge demand locally. So
yeah, why even get into all that, right? You know what I mean? Like why even, if you don't have to, I guess, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it'll all depend on, you know, the efficiency of materials. Like if it's more cost effective for us to buy like, you know, several pallets, like a couple hundred sheets of different materials, and then, you know, figure something out, like then it might be worth it if the market's there. But we're also trying to design them so that they're sturdy and pre-built, and so that kind of eliminates flat packing, which makes shipping expensive.
Yeah, it almost seems like to me, and again, I could be totally off the mark with this because I'm sort of just looking at it, but it seems to me like that the caging side of the hobby, right, has not sort of caught up with the evolution of the natural keeper, right? So it's like you're still like you know, like there's still AP cage style from what I see. So it's like, you know, maybe there's a shelf, maybe you put a branch in it, but it's really not geared towards anything other than like paper substrate. Maybe you could put like, because this is just a pain in the ass, man. I absolutely cannot stand it. And then the white gets all dirty. Oh, it drives me nuts. I'm like, yeah. My OCD kicks in. Like, God damn it. You know,
that is one of the things I like about these melamine ones that are, or that, you know, they have a lot of drawbacks, but they have a lot of room for substrate before the glass. With no gap. Like it is a plus for sure.
Such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to start seeing a revolution in cage design. I think Focus Cube's existence is the start of that. They're the first people to really put themselves out there as a cage that's thought of outside of the box. Whether you like it or not, use them or not, you can't deny the fact that they're here. They're doing something different. It's going to be the start of inspiring people. You know, like who else has put windows on the side? Who else has made the same cages modular so you can have screen ventilated tops or not? Like they really do have the most customizable options and things like that. And if you don't use them, that's okay, but you can at least appreciate the ingenuity behind it. And
sure,
I think it's just a matter of time before you see the very standard 4x2 whatever cage design kind of go by the wayside a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like that's the go-to size, you know. It's like everything sort of fits in that 4x2 you know.
Yeah. It's I don't know. Well, I think we're amidst a technological revolution as far as the reptile industry goes. So,
which is great.
Revolution, man.
Which is great because the more that people evolve their keeping, the more that the technology will evolve, and the more it'll get in, you know, it just takes people that are thinking, to your point, like Focus Cube, right? You know, they're thinking outside of the box and they're doing something different, you know. And I think a lot of people, you know, I hear nothing but good things about them or whatever. Just for me, it kind of doesn't fit the theme of what I'm looking, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't, and I'm sure you can do it a different way. Right. Yeah, exactly. You know,
see, for me, like if it were me, I would have to do the whole room in them in order for me to really like it. Even my room is already a hodgepodge of things. So like if I were to go that route, like I would probably experiment with some of their stuff down the line for some species, but I don't know, man. It's difficult. You know, it's when you see other people building their own stuff and and the cost, it's like, oh man, I could go buy that, or I could save some money and do this. But it all comes down to if you have the tools, space, know-how as well. So
yeah, I think the other thing with AP cages is, I think, and this is ultimately going to be what really hurts them in the long run, is that I think because currently they're sort of the top of the line type of cage, if you will. Like, everybody talks about how great they are, and no denying it, beautiful cage. You know what I mean? I mean, it's great stuff. Quality's good, everything like that. They're great people. I met them at Tinley and whatnot, but the wait time is it's not reasonable. You know what I mean? It's not reasonable. Tough. You can't, and some people say plan better or whatever, but like
nobody's planning almost a year out for that.
Yeah.
Like, come on, it's ridiculous.
Oh man, it's just it's and they've always been pretty open and honest. It's not what they do. It's not their full-time job, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, that's well and good, but like, either you're here to do it or you're not, but eventually if you don't, I mean, it's just retail 101. You either evolve or you go extinct, I mean, either you're going to listen to what your customers are saying and adapt. Like, I don't understand like the amount of money that they must pull in when they were sort of the only game in town for a long time. I mean, when I got into carpets, that was the cage. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, if you got the carpet cage, the AP 3 foot with the shelf,
honestly, if they could get if you could get the initial investment for them to make it their full-time gig, reduce that wait time, have a couple employees, get a couple more machines, cut more,
right?
They would skyrocket. They would do really well.
They must just not want to, because
I don't think they do.
Well, and that's okay then. I think that's just the reality of the situation. And what that's done is it's created a void that's allowed other people to fill it, like Chris Foley and Black Box and all these other whatever companies,
Yeah,
so,
100%. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's just the wave and the trends. It's like I said, a revolution.
And I think people that are, they're I think there's people out there that really believe that AP is their go-to cage. And especially if you already have APs, you know what I mean? It's like,
I mean, if
you
I
want
had
your room to match, at least
if I had the choice, I would outfit this whole room. I would put every adult Morelia in 3 or 4 foot cages by 15 to 18 tall, probably 18 tall, with shelves, UVB, the whole 9. Do males in like 3 foot cages, do the same thing, and just like have everything in glass fronts except for babies. And just like, I would love it, because I have behind this camera a 7 stack of T8s, and I love them, and I know what I would prefer, and it's really just height and a little more features to them. And they're great cages. I can't say enough about them. I love the sliding glass. I wish the trough was a little bit higher, because my Apodora's in one, and every time I get her out, a mountain of Cocoa Blocks comes out with her. So that's just kind of the cost of the battle with her, I suppose. But I mean, I think it's a great cage design and manufacture. And like Eric said, if they took a little bit of the insight and constructive criticism from some of their friends and customers that have tested and worked with other caging and other products and really put years into using these things, they could provide useful feedback, make a few tweaks and options. I think it would be great. But if it's not their full-time job, I totally see where this delay and everything comes from. I get it. It's not their full-time job. That means they're like 100%. Evening and weekend warriors, like.
Yeah. And clearly they're happy with where they're at, and they don't,
and that's their choice. It's
completely their choice. And
they make a good product. The only criticism that they receive is the lead time. And if that's just related to it not being their full-time job, then like whatever, you know, you either sign up for it or you go somewhere else, and that's okay. There's plenty of other people to go to, but yeah.
100%. Yep. Robert points out PVC cages has a pretty fast turnaround, and they make a good product too. A lot of options for sure.
Oh yeah, pvccages.com. Yep.
Yeah.
They're a great company.
That's good. They're steady and they never
Mhm.
really seem to fall behind. Every time I check, they're about 3 to 4 weeks for the past few years. So
I think there's something to be said for if you stay in your lane and only have a handful of products and don't overextend yourself and really just
yeah,
find where you excel and find the volume at which you excel at.
totally.
Go that route until natural growth presents itself if possible, or if you even want to. I mean, you kind of have to roll with the trends of the hobby as well. So like you can't expect like the same 10 15 designs on your website to still be relevant 10 15 years ago today, and it could change, and you just gotta kind of roll with it. Depends on how big of an operation you want to be, so if you're like two guys on the weekend with one or two machines, you can only do so much. So
yeah,
but
no doubt.
gotta play to those confines, like play to your strengths. It's the same sort of thing.
Right.
Robert says he wishes they offered white, though. I've never personally used white cages, and I've always heard they're great brand new until they start getting dirty and stained.
Yeah.
I don't know if they yellow over the years. I don't think so. But I mean, it does mean you have to do less work lighting up the enclosure, I suppose. So there's advantages to that. I just would think that over the time they might get a little bit dirty, even if you're on top of your cleaning game.
Yeah, they do. And especially with the substrate, it sort of stains it if you're using, you know what I mean? It's sort of like, yeah. So I
Have either
get
of
what
you
they're
guys
saying.
used boa cages? Jeff
I have
Ronnie's?
one boa cage.
So Rob swears by them.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
Rob loves them. Yeah.
They're solid. You can stand on those damn things. I don't think they ship flat pack, so I don't know what that does to cost involved. I've never personally bought them. I've worked with them. I've seen people's collection with them. I know Gary Scavino has his whole room outfitted with them. They use if I'm not mistaken, they use a really thick domestic produced acrylic that is tough, doesn't bow, doesn't yellow over time. For the doors, I love the locks. I've used them in like 2, 3, and 4 foot cages. They're very sturdy.
No, I really like mine. The only thing that I've had go wrong with that one is one of the mounting screws for the heat panel was stripped and fell out. But
that's an easy fix.
Yeah, easy fix. And other than that, it's been solid. The light that he installed in it could also be improved upon. It was a pretty dim yellow light.
Okay.
But other than that, like in terms of build quality, super nice, super nice, and I haven't had any issues.
Ryan was talking about bow and master cages, and I had 2 of them. I didn't like them. To Robert's point, first of all, I don't want your name on my cage. I don't know why. I just think it takes away from maybe back in the day where it wasn't, but if you're making a naturalistic enclosure, the last thing you want to do when you're looking into that enclosure is see boa master across the top of it. I don't know. Sort of just takes something away.
Yeah, it was right on the door, wasn't it?
Yeah. I didn't like
weird.
it at all.
I remember those old cages.
And it's not even that it's boa. I wouldn't even want EB Morelia or, you know what I mean? Like any of that.
If you need to put your name or emblem on it, put it on the low corner of the faceplate on the bottom or something. But I wouldn't want anything impeding my visibility.
Yeah. Like, I know where I bought the cage from. I mean, I'm not that senile yet. I do forget stuff from time to time, but good Lord,
I had a friend who had one of those, and one of his retics kept pushing out of it and got out several times from it.
Is his name Owen?
Yeah. No. Sounds familiar.
No, they didn't use glass. Come on.
Yeah. Right.
Pop the doors out.
But I think that's going to be my move. And then for like smaller species like geckos and stuff like that I have or whatever, I'll just use exoterrors and stuff like that. So,
yeah. I am currently foaming a big old Paludarium for an Aki.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's cool, man.
My buddy is going to let me take care of one of his adult males that he needs to separate for like dominance reasons, I guess that one's beaten up on one of the other ones. So I said, I'll take care of him here, and we're gonna do a really cool build and make it look sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. I can't wait to get more of that going. And I was telling Owen yesterday that I think I'm going to move my diamond pythons out of this room and put them in the outside room right here and do like a real nice display on that one wall. That's basically take up the wall. Nice. Because out of all the snakes, like they can get so it'll get 50 degrees there, no problem, without without even trying. So I think I'm going to do that just to see what happens. And dude, sure. I can't get over that Cam's custom background, that one where he had the diamond and it was just sort of like hanging in the middle, like doing the chondro, waiting for the mouse to come by type of perching, predator perching. It's
dude, that's so cool to see.
Yeah,
naturalistic behaviors. It's nice seeing that.
Yeah,
totally. If you're gonna display something in a big old cage like that too, do the diamonds, man. Why not? They're so pretty.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard to beat a diamond python, that's for sure. They don't get as much love as they should. It's weird how that group of carpets is sort of like on their own little island. You know what I mean? They're just like diamond python people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's certainly interesting.
I think that'll change as the changing of the guard comes with the generational shift.
Yeah.
More people start keeping them. I think we just got to keep talking about them and keep, promoting them and reminding people that they're out there to keep, looking into them, because as long as there's still people looking into them and working with them, they'll stay around. And even if they're not for everyone and they don't end up mainstream because there's no morphs or whatever, but they're you want
some morph diamonds, Lucas? Is that
although if you're offering,
they'll feed them to his blackheads. Yeah, they'll be the last carpet I need to add, unless the States opens us up to Imbricata one day. So
I should add
them justice,
just like the Brettles.
Yeah.
I mean, they fit right into to the whole plan there. I mean, don't worry, I'll send you some soon enough. Hopefully, I make them next year. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. And I'll just hold on to Riley's until he gets his house.
Easy.
That'll be his housewarming present. Here you go, diamond pythons.
It's not a bad one.
Rachel, this one's going right in the living room.
What?
Yeah. I don't think so. You can keep a koala. Shut up.
Hey, if we can get a koala, that'd be sick. But we just, we just got that kitten. I think we've got enough mammals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Enough warm-blooded animals.
Dude, that thing is crazy. He gets like a little wild hair up his ass, and he's like, boom, boom. If you're walking down the hallway and he runs right through you, you almost trip. Dude, little bastard hopped into the guinea pig cage. It was like, oh my God. He's like hopping up on the counters. He's nuts. Funniest little thing ever. Like, he comes into the snake room and he's like staring at the Crebo. He has no idea what he's looking at. It's like, wow. I'm like, dude, that thing could freaking eat you, buddy.
Yeah.
It's just a little thing. He like randomly ran up and like attacked my girlfriend, just bit her right on the ass, like, ah! I was like, God damn it, like a fucking savage monitor lizard.
Yeah, cats are funny. Cats are hilarious creatures. We didn't really domesticate them. They domesticated themselves, and not all the way.
Yeah.
Stuff they wanted to. They're crazy, though.
Joe Rogan's stand-up on cats is the best.
So good.
Man. Oh, it's the best. Yeah. He's like the cats at the window, and it's like, I remember. He sees the bird like flying around outside. That's the greatest.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That being said, keep your dang cats inside, people.
Yeah, no kidding.
Cats inside and the problems with Australian stuff. Have you guys seen? Alan turned me onto this new YouTube channel today. It's Brian Bush, and he has this video called Pygmy Python Heaven. And it's just like a POV video of him flipping rocks, and he's finding all these geckos and pygmy pythons out, and you're just like, oh, another pygmy! Oh, old dude having a good time. I was like, man, that's hilarious.
Now
Super
that's a
good.
guy I would love to hang out with. Brian Bush. That guy has had to have seen some amazing Australian animals. Like, I mean, he just goes out into the bush for going out to the bush for a couple weeks, looking for some pygmies, imbricata, geckos, lizards, you name it, or venomous or whatever he's looking for. Yeah, man, he's got some cool shit for sure.
Yeah.
What do we got?
If anybody wants to check out the video I'm talking about, it's right here. Pygmy Python Heaven.
Speaking
so
of pygmies, I'm going to be getting a pair of them from Justin.
Ooh.
Nice.
I was waiting for my bonus check to come through, and now that it did, I get to spend it all on reptiles.
Perks of working in the corporate world. Weekends off, holidays off, bonus checks, all that stuff.
Holidays off? Well, you got me confused with somebody else, bro. What are you talking about?
Holidays are your worst time, probably.
Yeah. Holidays don't exist in my life.
What do you mean we don't have enough honey hams?
We're out of turkeys? No.
Yeah, that's almost as bad as pandemics. Where'd the toilet paper go?
I remember the one year, right? This is sort of an on-off thing, right? But the one year I had just started working at the store in Jersey, and the truck was late, and it on there it had the hams for Easter, and the people were just killing me. How can you not have hams? I said, screw this. I'm driving up to the warehouse and I'm picking them up. What are you going to put them in? I'm going to put them in my truck. Just put the pallet right in the back of my truck. So I drove up to the warehouse with the Titan, and I'm like, they bring out the big forklift, and they just forklift this pallet of hams into the back of my truck, and the truck just goes, and I'm just like, screw it. I'm driving home with it. So I'm driving down the New Jersey Turnpike with this pallet of hams off the back, which is just a no-no on so many levels. You can't do that. It's not refrigerated. Well, it was cold, so it's not like
I've had similar experiences during my fish market days with crab, Christmas crab.
Oh God, yeah.
Lucas, rent a U-Haul and go get another box of crab.
Yeah.
Going to the pier. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Whew. Yeah, you when you work the day in a seafood spot, man, you come home and you got fish scales in your you just
try
shake
4
them out
years
everywhere,
Back when the iPhones, before they recognized your face, when you had to do fingerprints, mine never worked because my fingerprints were worn off by the end of every day. If it wasn't the fish slime, it's all the soap.
Oh man, the smell was horrible. And then especially in those days, I was younger and we'd be out drinking all night, come to work at like 5 o'clock in the morning to open up the seafood, and you're still hungover, and
it's
you're
the worst thing for hangovers.
Your eyes are barely open, and you're like, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna push through this. You open up the cooler, and all you smell is that fish smell, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, no, I have had some of my worst experiences as a hungover human being opening a fish market.
It's horrible.
Cold,
yes.
Slime,
yes,
and stink.
Smell, yes. It's the 3 things you don't want when you're hungover.
It's the worst. Yeah, 100%.
So bad. It's not all cracked up. It's all to be. So, but it gets me some Kimberly rock monitors, pygmy pythons, and
yes, sir.
Whatever, some water pythons, if you will. Worder.
Yeah. Riley, you weren't here. I made Brettles pythons.
He's addicted now.
I'm really happy.
Is the second clutch hatching yet?
No, I think the next 2 clutches, they were a day apart. They're like day 51, 52. So
nice.
It shouldn't be long now.
You got the hang of popping your first clutch?
Yeah, I'm going to have somebody double check me on girls. I mean, a peen's a peen, so I'm confident about the boys, but somebody should double check my girls. But right now it's at 11.11, which is kind of crazy.
It's good. Good split ratio.
Yeah, I told Nick that, and he's like, well, that never happens. You're probably wrong.
Yeah, your Nick voice is the best. I heard you say it on Animals at Home. You're like, yeah, and you always like start it like this. I know Nick real well, so I can say this.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like he listens to any of these shows anyway, but I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea that I don't like also love it. Like, it's hilarious.
And then I'm thinking, like, is this what young people think of as old guys? Like,
no, it's just him.
That's great.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny because I
guess
say
he
the same
doesn't-
thing. Like,
Yeah.
damn kids.
He does it to himself. I mean, has he ever done a podcast without saying, I was a bit confrontational in my younger years and I'm mellowed
Dude, you
out
have
now.
no idea. You have no, Riley, I don't know if you remember him from the MP days, but you have no idea, Lucas, man. Holy hell, was he, dude, he was crazy. Like, like I say all the time,
It was before he
Avatar
became a
is
gym
this
rat.
dude
and
just doing this. This was his avatar.
he
like,
didn't
you
have an
click on-
outlet yet.
Yeah, you click on the forum and there's this dude just pounding this other guy like this, and it's just moving. Like, wow, he's just mad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey Nick, hello, my name is Eric Burke. I'm looking to buy some bread lie. You know, can you tell me? I don't even know what I asked him. Like, do you have any available? And it was just call me. And I was like, damn it. I don't want to call him. I'm afraid of him. I can't talk to him. He's gonna yell at me.
Yeah.
What do you want, kid?
It's so funny.
But he's great. Yeah. I love Nick.
It's the best. Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah. 100%. What are your guys' herping trip plans for 2023?
Baja. No, just kidding.
Australia.
Riley knows what I'm talking about.
Alan was hitting us up the other day trying to pimp us out for an a Baja California trip 2023.
Oh, is that where that rattlesnake is at?
Yeah, the Catalina Island rattlesnake.
Yeah, he was sending it. Yeah, he sent me to. I was
Me
like,
and Riley are like, we don't even know what we're doing next week.
Yeah, I was like, I can't think that far ahead, dude.
These young guys, man, they can't plan ahead. They do it by the seat of their pants.
Yeah, dude, I never have the money to afford shit like this. I can't even afford I just paid rent today. You know what I mean? Like, let's get through next week first, okay?
Yeah.
I live in California. Sorry.
Yeah, man. I get it.
But maybe that'll change one day.
2023, I'll be done with school, so it's possible.
For 2020. Oh, I didn't even think about that. 2023. Well, in 2023, I hope, God, I hope that Australia is open. And that's where I'll be herping the entire year. I will, all of my vacation time will be spent in Australia. Yeah. So
if that works out, then you can just pay one of us to come work and take care of your animals all day every week.
Hell yeah, man.
No, I'm going to Australia. You take care of the
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, then you'll leave the wife with the animal. She'll be all right. She'll be able to take care of it.
You can train one of your monitors to take care of them. They're smart, right? They have hands.
Yeah.
Or maybe by then that new Tesla bot that what's his name just unveiled can take care of the snakes for you.
Elonius Musk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There you go. That'd be sweet.
We are not going to Australia anytime soon.
Could be true.
All hell is broken loose there. Yeah, I don't know. I think
they locked down one case. They locked down from one case.
Place. They're like,
shut
the doors.
Well, New Zealand has been killing it this whole time. Like, I wish I was in New Zealand.
They had one case, like, whoop, gone.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so they'll get their shit together soon, and it'll be good. It's just when the world decides to open up to international travel a little bit more, and then once America stops pissing everyone off.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
is that even possible?
No, I don't think so.
Peace.
You know what's funny, right? Everybody gets in this debate about getting a vaccine or not getting a vaccine, right? And here was my deciding factor. I said, does it mean I can go back to Australia? Yeah. Well, then shoot me up.
Sign me up.
I know, sign me up.
I don't care if
I don't give a shit.
I don't care if it gives me radioactive blood and superpowers. I've been shooting for that since I was a little kid and found out what Spider-Man and X-Men was. Okay. Sign me the hell up. If it gets us back to normal.
I know we're not
conspiracy theories.
I know we're not a political pod, but it tries.
That's not political.
It's not, and that's
It's
what drives me
scientific.
absolutely nuts. I hope everybody that is an anti-vaxxer also is not vaccinated for polio, measles, tuberculosis. Like, I hope you're not vaccinated for jack shit if you're not getting this shot, because otherwise you're a hypocrite and you're being dumb. I'm sorry. And people are dying because of you.
I think the problem, I know. Oh boy, we're gonna open up this Pandora's box.
Let's close the box.
The views of Lucas Lee are not the views of Morelia Python Radio Network. All inquiries can be sent to my inbox. There we go.
We'll close the box.
Yeah.
So
sorry, carpet pythons.
Yeah.
It's
sorry. You know, it says that you thought, what is it? Caging versus Rax was a Pandora's
Let's
box.
not talk about climate change today. I'm too fired up.
Yeah.
Oh man, you want to talk about all the fires in California and how that didn't used to be
breathe.
a thing 15, 20 years? Dude, it's smoky as hell right here. There's a huge
the AQI is close to 200 where I'm at the moment.
Yeah, I was just outside and I can't see the sun. There is no sun. It's just on fire everywhere. Right. But people are like, oh man, I'm thinking about you out there. I'm like, I'm not. I mean, after the Thomas fires, unless that fire is visible from my doorstep right there, I'm not sweating it yet because I've been through that. This will blow over, but it just sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's crazy. What you guys experience out there with that shit is nuts. And we
experience now didn't used to. My entire childhood we didn't.
Yeah, I am over these fires as much as I would love to stay a proud 5th generation Californian and ride that train out. I don't think it's worth the cost of living and all this stuff anymore. So I don't know. We'll see. Who knows where the world will take us? But as long as I can keep my snakes, man, I'm cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the the only relaxation. It's that's the whole the whole reason why trying to for a long time when doing NPR, right, I would always be wondering why people would think having too many snakes or too many reptiles is stressful, or it becomes a job, or you hear all this those kind of statements made and all, and I guess when I was doing it I didn't understand it, but then as the collection grows, and now when you're in a spot like I'm in now, it's it doesn't become enjoyable, because if you're not breeding, right? So this is where I hit the wall. When I was breeding every year, it was okay, that's sort of my excitement, if you will, right? But as soon as that kind of stopped, because as Lucas will tell you now that he knows, it's as soon as you hatch it out, it's everything's good with the world again,
It's so cool.
Yes. Yeah. All that hard work paid off. I'm so glad that that this is where we're at. But I just don't know. I want to get the collection to a size where it's fun. You know what I mean? It's not work, it's not stress, it's whatever, it's just fun and just enjoying it, and not worrying about, do I have the latest morph of this, or am I the top person for that, or you know what I mean? It's just I don't know, past that shit. So you guys are young, so maybe you're not past that shit yet, but you'll get there. Trust me.
Someday when Eric needs a cane, and I have gray hairs of my own. Yeah. You were right, sir.
You're correct.
I don't feel the need to breed everything and have all the morphs, but I do want to have a little sampling of all the Morelia in my collection, except for green trees. I've done that. That's not interesting.
You swore them off. Yeah,
I haven't sworn them off. I just they don't interest me. I love seeing other people show off these stunning examples, whatever it is, designer, locality. I think they're absolutely gorgeous animals, and to have a nice killer display, whether it's minimalistic, naturalistic, bioactive, whatever, having a chondro perched in that is pretty sick looking. Don't get me wrong. That's not the animal for me. I don't know. I just I think the reason why I like Morelia so much is the variety within it. And I just kind of geek out on that variety within it.
Yeah.
I've always kind of been that, like, I need to complete the set kind of person.
Me too.
Which doesn't have any rationale for people who are listening and like just getting into the hobby and stuff. You don't necessarily, and I wouldn't actually even recommend approaching it that way. That's my addiction. I'm just an excessive person. Always have been. And to me, I need to experience it all. And once I have it all, then I really soak it in. And I just to me, I can see and feel and understand the differences of each of these animals. And I like their differences. And that's what kind of geeks me out. And I feel like if I didn't have one, or I got rid of one, I would feel like I'd be getting rid of a part of like my interest, my overall like goals.
Right.
I don't know. It's hard to detach that from myself, and it's hard to really see any rationale or lack thereof in it, because it's a necessity. It's a true, like, to me, it feels like a biologically true necessity, which is really irrational. But I don't know. They're my drug, man. They're cool as hell. But then other people come in. You get in shows and you talk to other people and you get geeked on their experiences, and there's too many animals. You've never found them all. You've never discovered them all. You've never even learned of them all. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like the coolest thing to me. So like, I don't see anything wrong with having an evolving collection either. I don't see anything wrong with having a static collection too. So I don't know. It's just, to each his own, couldn't be more true when it comes to these animals and how we keep them. But like, it's just, Morelia really provides a good itch to scratch for me. That's all I can say. For sure. It's endless, dude. Like, it's now that I'm creeping in on getting that inland, and then the next thing is just diamonds. Now I'm like, well, what else? Now it's like Cape Yorks, Brisbane, like locality stuff. I'm like, I'm talking to my boss because he's got a friend who's an importer who has Indo connections. I'm like, how good of connections? Can he get stuff from the east side? Let's talk, I would love to see if sometime in the future somebody could reignite some connections to the east side stuff and really open up this can of worms that could be a can of worms or not, with Nova Guineas. Like, that's my newest obsession right now is I really want to see these two shed and grow, and I want to see the differences. And everybody's been posting like they've been getting babies from like Billy Hunt and stuff. I like zoom in on their faces and look at their snout different. It's just, I can't get enough of it. So
I agree with you, man. It's like one of those things, like, I think a lot of people, like, when I started getting into other, reptiles and stuff, people thought I was like going away from carpets, but like, to me, they're the bee's knees, man. There's nothing better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
like,
just the carpets were your gateway drug into the rest of it, because you love them so much. You're like, this complex is so amazing. This area they come from is so amazing. What else is there? And it's just a natural progression of like appreciating where these animals that you come from, or where these animals that we keep come from, and what else is involved.
Like Asphodeites.
Yeah.
100%.
Exactly. And geckos, dude.
Yeah, man.
The other night I was flipping through the new Iper. I'm going to call them the new Iper books.
Right. For sure.
Because it's for both of them, They left me a lovely little note on the inside that is awesome. And I gotta get the frog book, and the what was the first one? Is just the dangerous ones of Australia.
Dangerous.
Yeah. So whoever doesn't have that, one of these days we'll have to put together like a group shipping to make it worth the whole freight and everything. Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah. But I was just flipping through that, man, and I was reading all the descriptions, and I noticed, like, based on certain groups of these geckos, there's a lot of similar description and stuff, but you look at them and they're all so different, and there's so freaking many of them, and they have a lot of great photos with each one, and you can see the habitat they're in, or at least a little sliver of it. And to me, it's like the same thing as all those photos that we've geeked out on when you came back from Australia, seeing like that jungle in its natural habitat. And it's just, you see it in the geckos, and then you see how vast that array of geckos is, And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I see how people are like, I get it. Like, I really get how there's a huge, like, just a teeth sunk in, like, obsession and dive, like, deep down this rabbit hole and seeing it all and appreciating all of them for their little, just minute details, man. It's cool. It's really freaking cool.
Yeah. I've been on this kick where it's like, you know, for a while, I was sort of in this mindset that I wanted to learn about snakes. And then it's like, okay, well, I can, you know, and then you sort of get focused on the species and you try to learn all you can about the species or genus or whatever, you know. And then I've found that I'm sort of happiest when I'm reading about, you know, and to your point, right? I got a book on Australian trees. Like, what the hell do I do? You know, it's just like, what do I care about a tree? But it's just like, to your point, like, you know, you sort of like, once you sort of start peeling away the layers of the onion, you know, it's like,
peeling the bark off the Australian tree.
Yeah. So like, I think, you know, ultimately, I hope that at one day of my life, it just gives me a better understanding of how it all works together. Right. You know, and like, I think like a lot of times in the past, I've sort of just focused on the species that I was sort of looking at, but like, you know, now it's sort of like trying to step out of that and look at like, okay, so what's the natural history of its prey? Or what's the natural history of where, you know, it's in this tree? What is it doing? You know, why are, you know what I mean? I don't know.
It's just all connected, man. I mean, just the ecology of the entire web, it's all interconnected. And like, if you're interested in one thing, all of the other things that are somehow related can benefit your knowledge of your primary thing. Like, you know, like I was talking to you about at the beginning of, before we went live, like I just had to write a paper on the paleo history of frogs. And I was like, well, this sounds like it's going to suck. But just from doing that, even like, I actually understand so much more about like the dispersal of the Australasian pythons. Like, I know what Gondwana and Laurasia is now. I'm like, oh, that's that thing that Nick's always talking about. Like, I get it. And it, you know, it all ties in. You know, that's the fascinating part.
When you're listening to a you know, like a nature documentary of some sort, and then all of a sudden you hear the
Pleistocene,
and you're like, oh, I know that. You know, like,
clearly during the last Pleistocene glaciation, there was no water between Australia and New Guinea, wasn't there? Yes.
100%. But
no, it's incredible to try and get, when you zoom out a little bit and understand a bigger ecological picture. It just makes the finer resolution stuff so much cooler.
It'd be sick to have like a mega enclosure, like get the 8x4x4 AP cage and like throw some big vertical stuff in there and some branches and like keep some Brettles pythons up and then like some freaking Amia on the bottom or something like that.
Multi-species.
Or some Pilbras or something.
That'd be so cool. There's a really big like jungly exhibit at the Oakland Zoo in the reptile room where they have big red-tailed boas up top and like
dart
Amazon
frogs.
tree boas and the dart frogs. And it's such a cool, like, that's my favorite thing to stare at that whole zoo is just this.
They've done a good job in that building.
I think you know, for me, the evolution from moving away from, you know, racks and breeding and all that kind of stuff is sort of like the whole idea of, I feel like, I don't know how to say this right, but I feel like it's made me dumber, right? Because in a way like that, I'm not able to, it's like I got to the comfort zone of like, okay, you know, if I open the tub or whatever, and I see that they're doing X, then I know it's time to introduce, you know, the male. Whereas like, I bet you if I was able to like really take time and observe them, I'm going to learn so much more, if that makes sense. Right. So I feel like for me, more than the drama that ensues between people fighting with each other about my tribe or your tribe, it's more about trying to really become a student of the serpent to where you're, you know, because I mean, let's face it, like, you know, as much as I love going herping and stuff like that, it's much better when I can drink a coffee and just watch it in my reptile. You know, you don't have to worry about flights and all this shit and all that stuff. You know, it's the middle of the night. I want to see what the snakes are doing. I can go down and I might make an observation that they're probably maybe doing it, but I'm not seeing it. So I'm not learning anything. There's no information that's coming in that's like it's sort of like, you know, Owen used to say, like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So it's almost like you get to this level where you're sort of like, okay, well, I made it work and this is all I need to learn. When really there's so much more to learn, and there's so many more, you know, things that you can learn if you would just take the time to watch and observe, because they'll kind of tell you what they want to do. You know what I mean? I don't know.
100%.
I don't know if that makes sense.
The second you adopt the well, it's always worked this way, or it's always, you know, you're done progressing, and then you're doing yourself and the animals a disservice, because we don't know everything, and we never will. It's an endless pursuit. Yeah. Which is, for me,
and that's the fun thing.
Appeal. Yeah, that's the point.
Yes. That's the whole thing, you know. And to your point, right? You're like constantly trying to push that thought, because I've found that sometimes when I've thought outside the box, again, talking about like a book on Australian trees or birds or whatever it would be, you know, they may make a note about something in a way that maybe a reptile book wouldn't have made that note. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might see it from a different perspective, I guess, if that's, you know, I don't know. It's just sort of where I've progressed as a keeper, and, you know, where I see myself going for the future, I think is kind of that, you know, it's that whole enjoying the animal, and it's so much better when you're not involved in bullshit. You know, I don't know.
Well, it's another level of obsession to sink in and like just observe and soak up behavior and like understand your animals better. That was one of the nice things about working in zoos, is everything is naturalistic enclosures. So you really have to set it up to their favor and do it well, and be a student of whatever animal it is.
Yeah, sure. 100%.
And, you know, adjust accordingly. And then, you know, when you try something new and see something different out of your animals for the first time, it's really exciting. Like, you know, the first time my former bosses learned that beaded lizards would climb the 8-foot rock ledge up over my head, they were like, wait, what? And then the first time they saw them go down into the pool and swimming, they're like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah. You know who's really like made me sort of like see this is Mike Stefani from Mike's Monitors, right?
Yeah. Freaking love that
dude, guy. Like, I mean,
got his chair, and that's what he does.
He's a student of his animals to a T. He knows his stuff.
Yes. And his results speak for it, right?
And he's completely humble. He's like he's like the nicest dude, and I've never met him, and I just want to like. Is he like taking applications for adopting adults as, you know, like members of the family to like work in his family? Like, cause I'll move out there. Well, shoot, sign me up. Rachel can run your online store, handle the online merch, invoices and shipping, and I'll just be your cleaning monkey while you get to be the boss monkey. Yeah, Mike.
No, agreed. He's so fun to listen to, and also Warren with the comment of the day right there.
This is it.
Tie it all together. By the time you get your cage, there's no land bridge anymore.
Then you got to order a boat.
Oh, geez, that's great.
Well done, sir.
Welcome, welcome, Dr. Booth.
Yes. By the way, speaking of Dr. Booth, the new cover, the working cover of the more complete carpet, is sort of taking shape, and Justin's sending us these little behind the scenes type of shots, and Nick posted it up and whatnot. So to me, it looks like they're getting there, dude. I cannot wait to get my hands on this book.
Yeah,
oh my God.
As soon as it's up available for pre-order,
try to order like 5 of them.
Yeah, I'm going to order as many as I can afford.
I told Owen, I said to him, I said, I think to your point, I think I'm going to order like 4 or 5 of them just so I have them, because
you never know.
Yeah. I don't know. Not because I want to resell them or whatever. It's just like one of those things, you know. It's I don't know.
If you lose one or you take it on
lend
a
them
trip,
out to friends.
Yeah.
And if they never give them back, you're not totally screwed.
No, they're not doing pre-order yet, Alex. They just sort of like in our NPR chat, they Justin had shared a picture, and dude, it's my favorite carpet python of all time. Hands down, the nicest carpet python.
Yes.
Nothing can touch it. It's an inland with the Bredli and it could be imbricata, the Flinders Range carpet that Matt Somerville took that. I think it was Matt Somerville that took that picture. Holy shit. As soon as you see it, I'm going to share it. I mean, come on, man.
Well, I mean, it's no jag.
Damn you.
I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Yeah, that thing's insane. Red, gold, black trim. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I want that snake.
Yeah, I can't wait to see, I mean, I don't know. It's like the early days when the first book came out,
We're only a few months away, aren't we?
Could be.
Yeah. Hold on one second.
Last I heard was potentially November.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick said he wants to get it done this year, but some of the printing stuff, I guess, can be a little out of their control, which makes sense.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty typical. Especially with shipping delays and
it is sooner than it has ever been.
Yes. Yes, it is. And it is now too.
And again.
And again. Profound.
One moment closer.
Lucas, you're so deep.
I'm sorry.
Speaking of which, Justin just messaged me. He's trying to record Reptile Flight Club, and the time ran out, and the thing. I was like, just hit the add more time button. You'll be fine. It'll just charge my card. Just don't hit it too many times.
Damn, they must be having a good one, because usually those episodes are like an hour. So if they're running out of time.
Yeah. I think what I'm finding, I have to up the plan for our Squadcast thing, because it gets to like we're bordering on the edge of it being too many podcasts, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. Never enough. All right, now I can share it. Here we go. In case you haven't seen it, I mean, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it was made public on Facebook, right?
Live in a box or whatever, but there it is. I mean, come on. Look at that snake.
Cool. Super cool.
Yeah, man. Very cool.
Nuts.
Love it. Can't wait.
That's going to be a good book.
Good book.
Let's see. Wait, sorry. Hey, keep it going, guys. I'm helping Justin here through.
Okay. He's helping Justin. Riley, I like your shirt. Shout out to Travis. Why not?
Yeah.
Shout out to Travis for being a good dude.
Hope his living life well.
Yeah. He's staying here for a little bit more, but he's moving out to Tennessee very soon.
Yes.
So his wife moved out there to start working early. They're gonna buy a house very soon and move the family out accordingly. So one less California Morelia breeder, I suppose. It's a sad day.
It's sad. It's a really good one too.
But he'll be like an hour and a half away from April, Justine. So part of the old band is back together, so to speak.
Oh, that's cool.
Years ago, when I was still in Santa Barbara, it would we'd all get together. It'd be like April, Terrell, Tony, myself, Brandon. Who else? Just kind of like a group of us, and all just kind of like convene, and then we've all sort of like dispersed a little.
No.
Well, not really. Alex, no, I am not really skating actively. I have boards and I skate every 6 months or so, but I wouldn't call that actively skating. I have no free time. I have way too many snakes to clean up after and feed and plan for. I mean, too many.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warren should get a free copy. What the heck? They're gonna make
his name's on the cover. Yeah, he's got the whole chapter on Partho in there.
It was funny. When we were talking about the book last night, Owen was talking about how he has all of the complete books except for one. And I said, "What one is it?" And he's like, "It's the complete ball python." I said, "So how torn are you about completing the set and having them all, and then buying a book?" And he was telling me it's like some crazy amount of money, like I don't know, $400 or some shit like that. And I was like, "You're going to spend $400 on a book that you're never going to read, and that you don't like the snake that's in it? Like, I don't know, man. That seems like a bad call." And
he won't do it.
Yeah, he's not going to do it. But
nah, smart man.
But I know part of him is torn because he's like, I must complete the set.
Yeah, maybe he has a good friend anonymously that'll send a copy to him somewhere that has multiple.
I got one there. I told him, I said, "Dude, you can have mine." Kind of, you know, I could give two shits, you know.
Yeah.
Half of the book is all. It's kind of weird. Like back then, there was like, you know, I don't know what, 15 morphs of ball python. Now there's like 7,000 something like that. Like 7,000 different combinations or something.
It's no wonder that there's so many people in ball pythons, because, like, let's face it, anybody can make an identity for themselves if they surround themselves with one gene and do it right and really focus. And because they're bringing in more all the time, can you imagine what Morelia would be like if Australia was open, and like, even if like at a fraction of the pace at what the royal python world is going at, a fraction, like even if it was just one new mutation a year, can you imagine how different the Morelia world would be? Like, it wouldn't feel and like, you know, confined. There wouldn't be as many limitations. There'd probably be more public appeal. I mean, it would be a very different world.
Yeah, that was one of the topics that we brought up on the show last night. You know, it was just me and Owen show, and I thought that I had heard a couple different podcasts sort of talking about the whole, you know, outcrossing localities and outcrossing, and you know whatnot, and you know, is it going to, you know, hurt us rather than help us to have, like, how many generations can you breed a gelatin jungle, or, you know, whatever it would be, you know? It's like, when does the time come that, you know, you sort of have to outcross it? And then, you know, me and him were kind of going back and forth when we were saying, and my thought was, it's like, once you outcross it, it's not that locality anymore. But then,
unless you're importing from the locality, which we can't do that.
But then I sort of went on this thing of thinking about like just locality in general, right? You know, it's like the idea that, you know, I guess Alterna, when being in West Texas, sort of like brought this to light. Like, you know, the cut to the right is this locality. The cut to the left is a different locality. Like, the snake never crosses the road. Like, I mean, don't we find dead snakes on the road all the time? I know in Australia, it just seemed like, you know, every time you went road cruising, you're going to find something dead on the road, you know? So
yeah, for sure.
In our mind, we're trying to pinpoint it into this box, and it's like, is it that? You know what I mean? Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No problem. And you factor in that it's carpets that we're talking about too, and even in one place, I'm sure they all look different because they're one of the most variable pythons there is.
Yeah.
You know, so
shit, man. The gelatins look like citrus tigers. When, you know, the one we found, the other one looked like it could pass as a popwin, and the other one looked like what you would say is a you know, what we have in the States as far as gelatins go. But I don't know, man. It's kind of weird, but
yeah. Even if you're just breeding a pair of normal coastals together, you'll get several different phenotypes in one clutch. I mean, they're pretty variable. There's something for everybody there.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of Travis, I mean, look what he's doing with his bat eater coaster carpet project. You know, I mean, come on.
You don't even know. Wait,
I probably don't. You know,
wait till you, dude. He's got some of these. Like, he hatched out these caramels, for lack of a better description, like 2 years ago, that came out kind of like if the pattern had a white-sided rat snake sort of look to it. Like, somebody just erased a layer of the definition off the side from the mid flanks down. And he showed me these things, and I was like, what the hell are these? He's like, I have no idea. And I saw them a couple weeks ago at his place, and they're bone white with like flecks of the like the outline of the pattern is not even straight lines at all. It's like flecking in there. They give Nick's ivories a good run for the money. They're insane, and they're just straight like coastals, like selectively bred coastals. And you know, it makes sense when Nick's saying like, yeah, you only need to go like 2 generations in before you start seeing killer results. Travis is like 3-4 generations in, and he's getting nutty results. So
yeah.
Brandon brought up, I have this conversation regarding my southern scrubs frequently. I guess he's talking about like the whole locality thing. You know, scrubs are one of those weird things, you know, because eventually I see them falling into the same niches like chondros did, where it's like they started as like these groups, right? You got southerns, you got northerns, you got, you know, Beox, you got Jaipura, you got, you know, all these different localities that are sort of known, right? And then it's sort of like, are they separate species, subspecies, you know, whatever. And if you start to, I remember having this debate with some from scrub breeders back in the day. It's like, you know, you sort of have to, are you going to go by phenotype that you're trying to breed? Are you going to go by what the importer told you is locality? I mean, I guess if you're getting from somebody like maybe Dan, who might legitimately know the exact locality of where it was and can trust that that locality information is accurate. Otherwise, I mean, you know where some of the other ones come from. Some of the people, they'll tell you it's X when really it's something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's tough. It's tough. Yeah, there's so much variability even within scrubs. So
yeah.
I don't know. Everything in that whole area, unless it's patternless, is going to have a lot of natural variation.
Yeah. You know, I have a female southern scrub. At some point I need to add a male, just because I couldn't get Kinghorni. So I was like, well, let me try to work with something that's somewhat close. I mean, I guess
they look very similar.
Yeah. Something about the Kinghorni, man, the contrast on them just pops a little more than the Marukis. Yeah. But yeah, so go ahead, Lucas. Sorry.
I'm gonna dip my feet into that.
You're crazy
here too. I'm getting
scrubs.
I'm gonna get a pair of something cool from Nick in the scrub department.
Okay, so it can either be Waminas.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Scrubs are cool snakes, man. They are, but they are definitely a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason I'm going that route is because those guys are a little smaller and at least tend to be a little bit less insane. But I'm expecting some insanity. That's okay.
Yeah. I remember holding that adult wild Kinghorni, and that head, man, that was a little intimidating, man. It was kind of like, whoa.
Yeah, because you know the size of what's underneath that.
Yeah, you're kind of crazy for that.
Oh, I'd have done that for sure.
Oh man, when you're in Rome, you know. I mean, come on,
take a bite from that.
What's a couple stitches?
Rob got nailed in the foot, man. He didn't get.
Oh, did he really?
Okay. Oh yeah, he got nailed right in the foot. He didn't right on the back of your foot too. Ooh. Right? You know, like in the worst place you can get bit. You know,
got stung by a bee there once. Oh, that's awful. Yeah,
I told him he should have tattooed the bite marks onto his.
That's what Owen was saying after I got bit by the Bolins. He's like, dude, you pour ink in it now before it heals.
Yeah. How was that bite?
That hurt like shit.
It hurt, right?
Yeah, I normally. Well, she like food bit me, so she didn't like let go right away. So it wasn't like just a blow through me like defensive punch sort of thing. So it probably didn't have as much impact. But dude, I'm telling you, I felt the rectangular shape of her jaws. Like I felt how much like space and everything, and I felt every one of them contact bone in my wrist, and I was like, "This is unpleasant. I'd like you to let go now." And she took a few seconds before she realized like this isn't food. And I was like, I would prefer not to experience that again. And she's only 2.5 years old.
She's got quite a feeding response on her. That one does.
Yeah, we don't feed her a whole lot, and she gets live food, so she's a freaking savage about food.
I remember one of the days I was there, you walked over, and I was like holding her, and you were like, "Oh, I was like, have done that if I were you."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, be careful."
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you've held them multiple times, right? Yes. Yeah. So is it like, are they? So I don't know why I've always had this idea that Boland's pythons were like the Brettles of this, you know, because let's just say that they're sort of in that scrub complex, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe they're like roughies and carpets or whatever, you know, like that kind of thing. But let's just say, for sake of argument, that what do you call it? That you know, you have the Bolands, and I always just thought that they were like chill. I don't know. And then I was holding Keith's, and I was like, oh, wow, this animal's like, this isn't something that it's not like, I don't know. I don't know what it was. In my mind, I just thought it was going to be chiller than it was. And it's not that it was biting or anything, but it's just like you could feel the tension, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the right word is.
They have
different energy.
Yeah. They have moods, and they communicate like with body language much more visibly than other snakes do, especially if you're holding them. You can feel it more. I don't know, man. Their eyes move in their sockets similar to retics. They kind of give you that weird like periscoping pogo thing that I've seen a lot of scrubs do.
That's a good point, Riley. The eyes are very retic like. I hadn't made that connection, but that's spot on.
Yeah. Next time you have the opportunity to interact with the Bolands, pick it up and watch what its eyes do for the first 15 seconds. You pick it up, they'll either move in the sockets or dilate, or you know, as they're assessing what's going on. They're very switched on animals. They're smart. They still have sort of a bite first reaction if they're hungry and they think there's food going on, like that can happen. But in my experience, like they have moods.
Right.
You just got to learn to read them. And I don't know if that changes with like, I'm sure it changes with individual. But like, I don't know if that like is like an age thing. Like if at certain ages they're more defensive, and then once they get bigger, that kind of goes away and they're more confident.
Right.
So, you know, our girl's young. The other ones I've experienced have been pretty chill, but they've also not been like in their home setting all fired up and warmed up. And, you know, they've been out being handled and stuff. So
maybe they go through a little bit of a terrible twos thing too. That's kind of what Zach has noticed with the Falsies, is they have a phase during their big growth period where they're just terrible, and then they mellow out a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I always thought of them as like the giraffe of the python world, you know, like, oh, no problems, everything is chill. You want to pet me on the head, very well. You want to feed me a stick, very well.
Are giraffes like that?
I don't know. That's the impression I get from them as they just sort of walk around the yard. But Riley's probably going to tell me complete opposite. They're like people.
Giraffes are kind of prima donna. The female giraffes are either super sensitive or they're just big, doofy, dumb. Like they don't really know what's going on, so they're kind of oblivious. And then the males are big prima donna, like drama queens.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Well, never mind. That was a bad analogy. I take that back.
The bubble. Sorry, you can't watch any movies with animals with me because I pop those bubbles all the time.
Yeah.
But no, they're really cool. I would say, like, if you like somewhat big snakes, but not like dangerous, like fear for your life, big, like a mainland.
They get pretty big, yeah.
They get a good size, but like, you know, if you have your own protocols and your own rules, like don't let them around your neck as an adult, you know, certain things like that. Never let them come right up at your face or, you know, around your shoulder, like things like that. Right. You can stay pretty safe. But I would imagine if you get one and you raise it up, you've coveted a Boland's python at that point. You're going to spend a lot of time with it, and probably it will end up being social, or at least tolerant. So
True.
I would think most of them are probably chill, but you got to respect them in the same way you respect a scrub just because of the potential. If you catch them like in a weird mood or like you spook it into sleep and all of a sudden it freaks out, and like, you know, that's still a big head with a lot of teeth.
Right.
Yeah.
So just on that level alone, I think they command respect, but I think they're probably much more placid than your average scrub, but they're really similar.
Ooh, I didn't even this just came up by chance. I went to pull up the picture of me with Keith's Bolin's python to just show the thing, and we found that.
Yeah,
How cool
that's
is that?
Cobra.
that's damn nice. That's really nice.
Yeah. All right.
It's a beautiful animal. Australia has some pretty amazing herpetofauna.
Pretty.
Pretty good stuff over there.
Yeah.
Hey.
I mean, come on. Wait. You talk about geckos. I mean,
oh, he's
come
going
on,
to the
man.
archives. Oh, Strophurus tinnicata.
Damn, that
Dude.
one's like throwing it back too.
Those things are
They're
so
the
cool.
coolest gecko. Look, dude. Oh man, I love.
You know who
them.
turned me onto those first was Terrell years ago. He
No
got
shit.
bit by the gecko bug years ago, and he was like, yeah, he was getting like the Irianjaya clawed toe or bent toed geckos, as they called them, was what they were coming in as, the Papuan like clawed geckos. And he was like going down this rabbit hole, and he's like, check these things out, and he showed me those things. I was like, holy crap! And he showed me how small they were, and I didn't know about the like whole goo spewing thing out of their spines, but man, just that like marbled look with gold spikes and then like that kaleidoscope marbly gecko eye, that thing is mint. An absolutely beautiful gem. Those things are rad.
Yeah, 100%.
Strophurus genus is pretty top shelf.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they're and there's so many, to your point, right? There's so many different, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like this is my idea of like how I want to spend my evening in my snake room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
That
absolutely.
is nice.
Absolutely, man. The lounge chairs in the middle.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, doing a podcast right from that chair, you know?
Yeah. So here's
NPR
something.
Serpentarium.
You know, that's the hard part is like if you're somebody like me going from like a collection of hundreds of animals and like, you know, enclosures to like whittling it down to, because that wall, as beautiful and laid out as it is, that probably holds 20 animals, you know?
Yeah.
So 20 animals is very different than like 120 animals. So, you know, it just depends on, you know, where you're headed and what you're going. And I would like to think that over time, as my available space grows up, put more animals and stuff like that. I think that'd be freaking sweet.
This is I thought I'd share this. I took a picture of this. Look at their head structure, how different it is. That's a Nova Guinea. See how much longer it is at this, you know what I mean? It's so different.
Yeah, and then if you ever see them like overhead or top down or bottom up, the shape of the muzzle is just very different. Like it's longer, but it also seems to like, I don't know, the contours and the angles and the lines are just like I noticed it right away the first time I saw these little babies. I was like, these things are shaped differently. Their heads are shaped differently for sure.
Right.
So
100%.
I don't know. Now I need to like pull out one of these little things and like look at it.
Right.
Like I'm gonna harass this little Xanic coastal and it's gonna hate me. Now I need to look. Oh yeah, you could bite me.
Here's another like Australian gecko. This doesn't even look real, man.
Oh. Yes, that thing's
Like,
cool.
What the hell?
That thing's wicked.
It looks like a bumblebee.
Leopard gecko, what?
Yeah, no kidding. That thing's amazing.
There are a lot of cooler geckos than leopard geckos.
Yeah. Not that there's anything.
Until you see one of those massive, huge, thumping
Oh, the
giants.
giant ones.
Ooh, then they
Those are
scare
pretty
you.
cool.
Dude, those things are intimidating. Like, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think
Like,
Rob has one of those big ones.
Yeah, those things get like almost a foot long, and they're hefty. Oh man, those things are no joke.
There's some what do they call them? Like fish scale geckos at East Bay right now. Those dudes are kind of cool.
Those are the ones I think that have the ability to drop their scales off if a predator grabs them. It's like a escape method for them.
That's cool. Just drop some scales instead of rip the skin like a day gecko.
Yeah, they regrow. Oh my god, I have to explain that to people that see the day geckos in the shop. They're like, "Wow, that's beautiful." I'm like, "Yeah,
it's like Gecko."
They're like, "I want it." I'm like, "Are you sure?"
It will explode if you touch it.
You can't handle this thing. And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "It'll bite you, pee on you, poop on you, rip out of its own skin, and drop its tail before you even realize what's happening. If you've got a really grumpy one." They're like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Yeah."
They're so fast. I know. I hate cupping them because I'm just afraid of them exploding.
It's the safest way though. Is like if you got them in an enclosure, you can kind of corner them. Just get a big deli cup and just encourage them in. Just boop. I used to always have to like catch them for exams in zoos, and I would bring actual like big old fish nets.
Hey, look at that guy!
Nice.
Yeah,
that's a solid animal, dude.
Pretty damn cool.
That is a
you said don't put it around your neck, as I have it around my
you weren't alone.
That's the other thing. If you're doing it with two people, you can probably be a little more free, especially with Keith's animal. I'm sure Keith's animals are pretty tractable.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know if I'll ever trust my pop wins around my neck. I don't know. We'll see. They're
someday.
I don't know. That girl is. She's a pistol trying to get her out of her cage. She feels very threatened when I'm introducing a hook gently and trying to get her out. She's like, intruder alert, stranger danger, fire off the guns.
Now you have my attention.
Right? I knew that would get you.
I was drifting off with these geckos, but now I'm focused.
Yes, bring you back into the mold.
The blackhead. I was talking about Rob. No, just kidding. Oh man.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good shot too of look at how happy that son of a bitch was.
Aww.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, Aussie Frillies. That's a lizard right there. That's a lizard I could add. Aussie Frillies for sure.
Oh yeah, man. They were cool. They were cool.
Having worked with those in Santa Barbara, one that would like flare up on cue and one that I could pick up and like hand feed. Oh, they're the best.
Yeah. Riley, you'll be proud of me. I actually held a tarantula without crying the other day.
Nice.
I'm making progress. There's an entomology student that's a coworker, and she's trying to convince me to not poop myself around arachnids. It was a striped knee, I think.
Oh, shit.
Was that bad? Was that bad?
No, just all the striped knees we get in at the shop are real assholes. They're like not friendly at all.
Yeah, it ran off my hand, but she caught it, not me.
Dude,
that was great.
Those things, like, they threat pose. They try to bite. Like one of them, those and like the yeah.
Well, now I'm not
she knows what she's doing. I would just feel the situation out, but that is not my go-to to handle.
Well, I wasn't happy about it. I was scared.
Yeah, if it were me, I would have started with an Arizona blonde or something.
Crap.
It's all good. You survived.
Too late.
You survived.
Too late.
We didn't have any of those. She told me not to touch the ABT.
OBT?
OBT. Yeah, she said don't touch that.
Yeah, you know what OBT stands for, right?
I got this. Orange bitey thing.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, that's.
I guess it's what is it?
It's baboon? Orange baboon tarantula, but typically the baboon tarantulas are the African stuff. You don't really want to handle those. They're pretty hot and pretty mean.
I still don't like any of them, but I just wanted to share. At least I'm trying.
I've handled stuff that people say don't handle, so like I can't really say one thing or the other. I've handled Poecilotheria metallicas, which are medically significant and can put you in a hospital pretty bad. I'm here today. I've handled Vietnamese centipedes barehanded too. Like, still here today. Like, I do not recommend doing either of those things at all.
Okay.
It sort of fight or flight reflex. It's either that or the animal's loose in your confined space, which is worse. React to like it's like one of the scenes from the movie Saw. You're stuck in the room with this thing and you have to self-mutilate yourself in order to get the answer to get out. It's like handle the tarantula and the centipede and survive, or forever be stuck in there. It's like,
yeah, I gave spiders a chance. I'm never giving centipedes a chance. I'm sorry. Millipedes, okay. Millipedes, no problem.
Millipedes are harmless. I actually highly advise against handling centipedes. They're strong and unpredictable and venomous. And did I say strong? Yeah, they can literally hold on to you. I've watched them like grab and close large forceps. Like the big 18-inch ones, like a big Scolopendra or like one of the Barbados giants or Galapagos can literally close forceps with their own legs. They're that strong.
Holy shit.
I despise it.
We have Goliath bird-eating tarantulas at the shop, and my coworker was feeding them like a fuzzy mouse the other day, and one of them like attacked, missed the mouse, and grabbed the tongs and pulled the tongs out of her hands and pulled them into the enclosure. So,
pass.
Yeah.
No thanks.
No, thank you.
Yeah. I have tarantulas at home, and I snuck a centipede in for a year before it died, and my girlfriend found out. And I've got scorpions and things, so like I don't know, but there's some lines for some people that I've crossed, and there's some lines for me that I've also crossed and shouldn't.
Yeah, scorpions don't freak me out as much. They're just like dry, spicy crayfish.
I just like when they have babies and all of a sudden you got lots of them and they're tiny. You're like, me.
Oh man!
Like this is an adult in here.
Okay, that's cool.
She's like that big.
Yeah, I will never own bugs, but I'm trying to be okay with bugs.
Well, then don't go to Australia during funnel web season.
No, thank you.
Have you seen the videos where it looks like the whole like park benches and trees are covered in frost and it's just spider webs?
I would have a heart attack on the spot.
Have you seen that image, Eric?
No.
I'm going to see if I can find it. Basically, there's a season when
it's not safe for Lucas to be
when
outside.
In certain areas there's just a lot of spiders. I guess they're just very, very prolific.
Really?
Yeah, I saw. I don't know if I'll be able to pull up the exact image, but it was pretty intense. Literally everything was covered with spider webs. Oh, I might have found it. Yes, here we go. All right.
Good. We'll close the show with an image of hell.
Yeah, exactly. Lucas's worst nightmare. This is how we scare him out of the show.
Oh,
it's okay. Look at that.
Nope.
Wait, that's a web? Holy shit.
I hate it.
Yeah, look at
that.
They
don't freak me out, but I wouldn't go and have lunch there.
No? You don't want to go through a walk and like go herping out here? It's really easy to know where the snakes aren't.
Right.
Wherever the spider webs are.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that would be trippy.
I got something we'll close on, right?
Okay.
Here we go.
Make me feel better, Eric.
Daddy going to sleep with the light on.
Yeah. We'll back this up. Hold on. Let me back this up. This is what I was saying. This is fog dam. That's what I want my water python enclosure to look like.
Logs, leaf litter, some uprights.
Damp.
Yeah, a little bit humid. Good soil.
Put Rob in the box.
Yeah, Rob will have to be in there.
We'll just have to get you like little Rob statue figurines for every enclosure.
Yeah.
Just put little Rob statues in there.
Nice. Here, Owen, take this. Okay.
Poor Owen.
Owen's like, my prize.
Dude, he was so sick. He had like 101 fever.
Yeah. Jesus.
We're in the fucking jungle.
It's good the rest of you didn't catch that. That would have really ruined the trip.
I know. How is it that we're living in quarters together, but yet nobody else got sick?
Insurance killed his immune system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that's cool.
That is such a beautiful animal.
That's amazing.
Was it on the road originally and it ran into the log, or did you spot it over in the log initially?
I think it was in the leaf litter, and Owen saw it. We thought he was delusional, but apparently he was not.
And that's why we keep him around.
Yeah. He's like, look, water python. Oh my God, it's a water python.
That's awesome.
I can totally picture him saying it so casually, but like geeking out and then exploding with excitement.
He is a witty son of a bitch, that guy.
It's unbelievable.
Look at the iridescence on that thing, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'd love to work with those someday.
We found that on 10/26/2019 at 9:45 p.m. at night.
Nice.
I was going to say a really good memory, but I see that now on top of the,
No, I need technology to keep me sharp because.
I can't wait. I can't wait. We need to go, gentlemen.
One
We
day.
need to go.
Yes, we will go. We will go for sure. No doubt. So
Yes,
Absolutely.
all right, we good. We're gonna call it, or
I feel good.
to me.
I'm gonna grill some.
Yeah.
Wait, I can't grill. The air's smoky. That's not good. I'm gonna cook chicken.
okay. Oh yeah, that's right. You don't eat red meat. I was like, wait a minute, what happened to you, Lucas? What are you doing eating chicken?
I eat everything except like
Red
the cows and the lambs of the world. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I got to learn that.
Don't get me wrong. I
Right.
hate cows. Kill them all, but I don't eat it.
Right. Fair enough. I didn't eat meat for 6 years, man. I know as soon as I started
really?
cutting meat. Oh yeah. I was like, nope, I'm done.
Just
Wait, you don't want this? Nope, I'm done. Nope. And then just one day I was drinking and somebody had cheesesteaks. I mean, come on. I can
That's what
come
got
on,
you.
man. That's what got me. Sucked me back in.
Originally, I also cut out pork, but my grandma got me back onto pork. My Chinese grandma with some of that really crispy skin pork from Chinatown that they like hang in the windows and chop up for you. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's incredible.
Is there
Like on
any
the
better
rotating
meat than
spit.
bacon? I mean,
Oh,
come on, dude. There's nothing better in
Yeah.
the world than bacon.
If bacon kills me, I can live with that.
Yes. Yeah, that's fair enough. So, okay. So we love bacon. We don't love beef.
We don't
Giraffes
love
are dumb.
spiders. Embricata is pretty.
And male giraffes are drama.
Lucas likes baby Brettles.
Yes, Lucas was very happy to hatch a clutch. Now he's addicted to, breeding snakes.
Brett said we're
what else do
watching
we
me
learn?
grow up in front of everyone's eyes.
This
Yep.
is true.
yep.
In a couple years.
Lucas turned 2 today.
We'll be talking about
This many.
Dr. Lucas. Hello, doctor.
Maybe.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus. You're
if
gonna
I
suffer for that much school.
If I keep putting myself in debt,
You'll be all right.
that'd
Better-
be fun. I
You
don't
better
know.
breed some expensive ass snakes, bro.
Yeah,
Why not? We're all gonna die. PhD. What the hell?
live it while you can, right?
Yep.
MoreliaPythonRadio.com is the website. info@MoreliaPythonRadio.com is the email if you want to get in touch with us. Follow us on all the things, and that will lead you to all the things. So
All of
Yes.
them. If the
Yeah.
question is a question, the answer is yes.
yes,
Yes.
if you need to find out about it, yes, then go there. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and until next time, and I don't know, close out with whatever you want, gents.
Check out the Morelia Python Radio Network Patreon if you enjoyed the podcast. Love the support there. I can be found at Centralian Exotics, and my little thing I did with the animals at home folks is out now. Go check that out. Good times, and thank you very much.
Bring
Yeah,
it home, brother. Bring it home.
You can find me on all the things, just Riley's Reptiles or YouTube Riley Jimison. Keep an eye on Morph Market. I'll be probably posting some jungles up in the next week or so, and a few more coastals coming up soon. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all. And that's it. We'll catch everyone next week for some more carpets and coffee and water and carpets, some crappets.
Crappets.
And crappets and coffee. So
That's
that's
beautiful.
it. All right.
Excellent. Have a wonderful weekend.